Hi everyone, in today's video, we are going to see about most common idioms in English. Okay, let's get started. Most common idioms in English. Number 1. 24/7. 24/7 means 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For example, we worked on the design 24/7 in order to complete the work on time. He's in the office 24/7 due to his heavy workload. Number 2. A couch potato. A couch potato means to someone who spends a lot of time sitting on the couch, watching TV. For example, the brush coat is generally considered to be more of a couch potato than the horse coat. After my brother retired from his job, he became a couch potato. Number 3. A hard nut to crack. A hard nut to crack, usually a person who is very difficult to deal with. For example, the problem is a hard nut to crack. He's a tough nut, but I think I can get him to agree to the contract. I want to know what secret he's hiding, but he's a hard nut to crack. I gave my best to be friendly with her, but she is simply a hard nut to crack. Number 4. A piece of cake. A piece of cake means something that's super easy to do. Simple task or work. For example, don't worry about the test. It's a piece of cake. You'll do fine. And said the test would be difficult, but it was a piece of cake. You'll pass with no problem at all. John expected the test match to be difficult, but it was a piece of cake. Number 5. All ears. All ears means very concentrated or keen to listen to the other person who has your full attention. For example, go ahead, I'm all ears. Tell me what's been on your mind. When the teacher mentioned a surprise, the students were all ears. Children are all ears when the teacher tells them fairy tales. Number 6. All in the same boat. All in the same boat means in the same situation or predicament. For example, we are all in the same boat, and the boat is heading in the right direction. Everybody on staff got a pay cut. We're all in the same boat. No one feels diminished by undergoing a search because everyone is in the same boat. Number 7. As cool as a cucumber. As cool as a cucumber means being calm and relaxed, even in a stressful situation. For example, he walked in as cool as a cucumber, as if nothing had happened. My boss is as cool as a cucumber even when he speaks in front of hundreds of people. Even though she was giving a speech to a large crowd, she was as cool as a cucumber. Number 8. Better late than never. It means it's preferable for something to happen or be done more lately than not at all. It's better to arrive bread and butter late than not to come at all. For example, Anin finally paid me the money he owed me. Well, better late than never. We've been waiting for you for 3 hours, but better late than never. Number 9. Bite the bullet finish. Bite the bullet finish means something no matter how unsatisfying or unpleasant it is, get something over with. For example, I have to bite the bullet and tell him the truth, even though it might hurt him. I had to bite the bullet and apologize even though I didn't think I was wrong. Anna had been putting off discussing the financial management of the company, but decided to bite the bullet and talk to Sid today. Number 10. Born with a silver spoon in mouth. Born with a silver spoon in mouth means born into a rich family. For example, Tom is born with a silver spoon in his mouth. he doesn't need to worry about anything. He does not need this job as much as I do. He is born with a silver spoon in his mouth. He was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, so he doesn't know what it's like to work hard. Number 11. Bread and butter. It means earnings of a person, indicate when a person earns for a living. For example, the person depends on you for his bread and butter. How can you be so thoughtless? Fishing is the bread and butter of the friendly people I met on the island last summer. You have to earn your own bread and butter. Number 12. Break the ice. Break the ice means to try to become friends with someone, to make a start of something. For example, I thought if I had one at home I could use it as a conversation piece, to break the ice at parties. Sharing a funny story helped break the ice at the awkward family reunion. It's always easiest to break the ice after I've had a few drinks. Number 13. Break a leg. Break a leg means a way of saying good luck, usually associated with show business, or something you say to someone you want to wish luck on. For example, you're about to give your performance of King Lear. Break a leg. Hey Anna, it's time for you to get on the stage and present your monologue. Break a leg. The teacher asked us to break a leg at the annual day dance. Number 14. Call it a day. Call it a day means enough has been completed to successfully and contentedly end work for the day. For example, after these last two questions we'll call it a day and reconvene tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. We've been painting all afternoon. Let's call it a day and continue tomorrow. It's getting late and we've had a productive working meeting, so let's call it a day. Number 15. Can judge a book by its cover. Can judge a book by its cover means you can't judge something just by its appearance. For example, I thought this no-brand bread would be horrible. Turns out you can't judge a book by its cover. The candidate does look very promising, but you can't judge a book by its cover. Number 16. Cold feet. Cold feet means feeling nervous or hesitant about doing something. For example, on the other hand, maybe Tessa got cold feet when she realized how persistent Dulce would be. I think when Pendlebury realized what he'd done he got cold feet. I was going to ask her out, but I got cold feet at the last moment. Number 17. Cool as a cucumber. Cool as a cucumber means to be very calm and relaxed. Cucumbers have a refreshing flavor and leave you feeling cool and calm. So if you are as cool as a cucumber, you are a very calm and relaxed person. For example, hard things do not bother John much. He is cool as a cucumber. My friend is nervous about taking his driving test, but I'm cool as a cucumber. Number 18. Costs an arm and a leg. Costs an arm and a leg means when something costs too much money. It's way too expensive. For example, that luxury car must have cost him an arm and a leg. Going on that luxury vacation would be amazing, but it would cost an arm and a leg. The show is excellent, but the tickets cost an arm and a leg. It cost me an arm and a leg to take my trip to Australia. Number 19. Cry over spilled milk. Cry over spilled milk means complaining about a loss or failure from the past. To be upset about something that is already done or a mistake that can't be changed. For example, yes, we made a mistake, But there's no use crying over spilled milk. Let's focus on finding a solution. She was mad that he broke her vase, but it was an accident, and there's no use crying over spilt milk anyway. So she forgave him. Stop crying over spilled milk. I know that was your favorite phone, but you can get a new one. Number 20. Easier said than done. Easier said than done when something is harder than anticipated. It seems harder than you think. For example, you can bet that getting people to listen to an opposing viewpoint is easier said than done. Why don't you just ask Simon to pay? That's easier said than done. It's a lot tougher than that. It's one of those things that are easier said than done. Number 21. Eat like a bird. To act like a bird means to eat very little. For example, she always orders two larger chops and one smaller chop because her daughter eats like a bird and her husband eats a lot. Don't trouble yourself cooking such a big meal. I eat like a bird. Look at you. You have to eat more. You are eating like a bird. Number 22. Eat like a horse. To eat like a horse is to eat a lot. For example, she sleeps through the night, naps on time, eats like a horse, and laughs all day. My mom was so excited that my roommate ate like a horse when he came over to visit. My grandma has to cook a lot of food when my brother comes to visit. He eats like a horse. Number 23. Every dog has its day. Every dog has its day means everyone has the opportunity for success or good luck at some point. For example, did you see who won the companionship this year? It is true that every dog has his day. Things may look rough for you now, but just remember that every dog has its day. The lady next door just got a really good job. I guess every dog has his day. Number 24. Feeling under the weather. Feeling under the weather means to feel ill, sick, having a hangover. For example, Anne has been feeling under the weather with a cold all week, so she's been taking it easy. I won't be able to attend the party tonight. I'm feeling a bit under the weather. I have my final test, but I'm feeling under the weather. I think I have a fever. Number 25. Find your feet. Find your feet means if you find yourself in a new situation, such as living in a new country and having to adjust to a new college. For example, I have been living in America for 2 months, but I am still finding my feet. I'm new to this city, so I'm still finding my feet. I only moved to Italy 4 months ago, so I'm still finding my feet. Number 26. Go cold turkey. Go cold turkey means to suddenly stop or quit some bad or addictive behavior, like stop smoking. For example, how to quit vaping. Some people choose to quit cold turkey, but that may not be realistic for everyone, experts note. I quit smoking cold turkey and never felt the need to go back. He had been trying to quit smoking for a year but couldn't, so he decided to go cold turkey. Number 27. Heart of gold. Heart of gold means having a heart of gold means being kind, generous, and compassionate. For example, my son's girlfriend has a heart of gold, but I'm afraid he'll lose her if he keeps treating her so poorly. You'd think all priests would have to have a heart of gold, but ours is cold and unfriendly. Despite facing hardships, he has a heart of gold and always helps those in need. Number 30. Hit the hay or sack. Hit the hay or sack means when someone is really tired and wants to go to sleep. For example, she hit the hay as soon as she got home from her long flight. She was jet-lagged and needed some sleep. We had a lot of fun at the party, but it's time to hit the hay. Thanks for inviting us. It is time for me to hit the sack. I am done with the day. Number 31. Hitting the nail on the head. Hitting the nail on the head means describing or doing something exactly right. For example, that's what I was thinking. You hit the nail on the head. He hit the nail on the head when she said that our team needs better communication. She hit the nail on the head when she said the Civil War was the bloodiest conflict in the U.S. Number 32. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science means it's not difficult. It's not complicated. For example, cooking a basic omelet is not rocket science. You just need a few eggs and some vegetables. Just look up the answer online. It's not rocket science. Driving a car is rocket science. I don't understand why people don't drive better. Number 33. Keep your chin up. Keep your chin up means be brave and courageous in a tough situation. For example, even though he faced many rejections, he kept his chin up and continued to pursue his dream. I know it's hard having a sick family member, but keep your chin up. Don't let the difficulties intimidate you. Keep your chin up. Number 34. Kill two birds with one stone. Kill two birds with a stone means to achieve two results by doing one thing or solve problems at the same time. For example, by taking the train instead of driving, she kills two birds with one stone, saves money, and helps the environment. None of us understood that he was trying to kill two birds with a stone when he joined the military forces. Cycling to work kills two birds with one stone. It saves money and gives you some exercise. Number 35. Make ends meet. Make ends meet means make enough money to survive, to manage expenses. For example, many hotel workers live paycheck to paycheck and depend on gratuities to make ends meet. He don't make much from my job as a cashier, but he's able to make ends meet. After he left there, he forged a career in modeling and worked in clubs and bars to make ends meet. Number 36. Off the chain. Off the chain refers to something that is exciting, exceptional, or out of control. For example, I would imagine that people who refuse to answer polls or are off the grid are also people who don't vote in elections. That action movie was off the chain. The stunts and special effects were mind-blowing. The concert last night was off the chain. The energy in the crowd was unbelievable. Number 37. Once in a blue moon. Once in a blue moon means something happens very rarely, once after a very long time. For example, we eat at home most of the time. We go to restaurants once in a blue moon for special occasions. I don't know why she bought that music system. She uses it once in a blue moon. She only comes to visit once in a blue moon. Number 38. Out of the woods. Explanation. The hardest part of something is over, but the situation is still good. For example, the surgery went very well, so she's officially out of the woods. She just needs to recover now. The surgery went well, but he's not out of the woods yet. Tom was sick 2 weeks ago, and we were very worried. But now it looks like he is out of the woods. Number 39. Pay an arm and a leg for something. Pay an arm and a leg for something means to use this one when you have to pay a lot of money for something. For example, something that won't please the advertisers who are presumably being charged an arm and a leg. The best part is, the clothing won't cost an arm and a leg and is usually well made and in style. Number 40. Pitch in. If you try to take this phrase literally, it makes no sense. Figuratively, it means to contribute to something or someone or to participate. For example, let's all pitch in money to organize a birthday party for Susan. Let's all pitch in a few dollars so we can buy Sally a really good present for her birthday. Number 41. Put the cart before the horse. Put the cart before the horse means doing things in the wrong order. For example, aren't you putting the cart before the horse by deciding what to wear for the wedding before you've even been invited to it? You're putting the cart before the horse by buying furniture before finding a place to live. Number 42. Spice things up. Spice things up means to add excitement or variety to a situation or relationship. For example, he used to play pranks on my coworkers to spice things up a little in the office. The magazine always has lists of tips and tricks to spice things up in bed. Let's try a new restaurant tonight to spice things up. Number 43. Spill the beans. To spill the beans is to accidentally or prematurely give out information that's supposed to be kept secret. For example, we planned a surprise birthday party for my colleague, but a deliveryman accidentally spilled the beans to him about it. Owen spilled the beans to Joyce about her surprise party, so he knows what's happening. Number 44. Take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt means to receive or consider information with skepticism or doubt. For example, I take with a grain of salt their arguments in regard to the freedom of the working classes. I heard a rumor, but I took it with a grain of salt until I had more information. Number 45. To cut corners. To cut corners means to do something in an easy and very cheap way to reduce time, money, expenses. For example, a few years ago I told a restaurateur just starting out that he should cut corners on things his customers wouldn't notice. It is certainly not as sensible to cut corners on your children's education. My mom often had to cut corners when we were kids to feed all of us. Number 46. To go Dutch. To go Dutch means when everyone pays his bill at a restaurant. For example, usually we go Dutch when we eat out, but this time Annie paid the bill since it was her birthday. Last night we had a date, but we went Dutch because I've paid for my coffee and he paid his. Number 47. To sit tight. To sit tight means, when someone tells you to sit tight, what they really mean is to wait patiently and take no action. Stay where you are. For example, my parents tried to persuade me not to go alone, but I sat tight. Sit tight while I go see your teacher for the meeting. Just relax and sit tight. We'll solve the problem for you. Number 48. Twist someone's arm. To twist someone's arm would be rather painful if you took it literally, but it really means they've been convinced to do something they wouldn't have done otherwise. For example, my wife really had to twist my arm to get me to apologize to my boss. She was going to go to the party, but her friends twisted her arm and got her to go. Number 49. Up in the air. Up in the air means, if someone tells you that something is up in the air, it means that it is uncertain or unsure. For example, our Paris plan is up in the air until Anna gets a weekend off. Our plans for this weekend are up in the air until Jen tells us when she gets off of work. I am not sure what the plans are. Everything was up in the air when I last spoke to him about it. Number 50. Under the weather. Under the weather means feeling ill or getting a cold. My mom was feeling a bit under the weather. For example, Mark feels under the weather, so I'm going to pick up some cold medicine for him. She was feeling under the weather, so she called her work and told them she was coming in. My mom was feeling a bit under the weather. I hope you enjoy the video. That's all for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you next time.